Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her mother, Gypsy Blanchard, from Springfield, Missouri.
Believe it or not, that is the same girl as this girl.
I'm living my best life, and y'all can't take that from me.
And the D is
Fire!
Gypsy Rose, who is the girl in both videos, was just released 2 weeks ago from prison and since then has been appearing in a ton of interviews. Gypsy and her husband Ryan were interviewed by Lifetime as they played games trying to guess what the other person's favorite thing was. But many pointed out it was one of Ryan's answers that was quite awkward. One question asked was what was Gypsy's nickname for Ryan, and they both had the same answer, which was Cuddle Muffin. And for Ryan's nickname for Gypsy, they both answered with the same name, and it was Snuggles. But when they asked which Disney princess Gypsy would be, Gypsy said Anna from Frozen, but Ryan guessed Rapunzel from Tangled.
What?
Yeah, what is right? If it still didn't click in why Rapunzel was a bad guess, well, that movie focuses on Rapunzel being held in a tall tower, isolated from the world, and meant to fear everyone except her own mom. And there's just a lot of similarities between Gypsy and Rapunzel. And to be fair, when I saw this clip, I actually didn't notice until I read the comments. One user wrote, "The Rapunzel thing is weirdly realistic," with another replying to that comment writing, "This is how I felt, screams volumes, and made me proud she picked Anna." And after each answer the couple gave, they would briefly talk about each other's answers, but they did skim over that for the Disney question, and many believe that the similarities were why. Do you think Ryan's answer could have made the situation or the air a little awkward, or do you think that they didn't even put the 2 and 2 together? Awkward is the perfect word to describe one encounter Gypsy had while appearing on the talk show The View. It all started as a group of ladies talked about Gypsy's past and also what the future holds now that she's been released after spending years behind bars for ending the life of her mother, Dee Dee, who would put her through several medical procedures and even convinced health officials that she needed a feeding tube and a wheelchair, all because of health issues that she had. But in reality, Gypsy suffered from nothing other than a lazy eye and poor vision. And when she appeared on The View, she spoke about her future plans and ongoing advocacy work for other victims before addressing the camera and saying, "If there is someone out there watching right now, please listen to me. Heed my words that you are not alone in this situation. There are other ways out. I did the wrong way." But before she could continue, Joy, who is another host from the show, cut Gypsy off, and honestly, prepare yourself because it definitely was not what I was expecting. Joy said, "No, no, no, honey. No, 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 don't say that," before adding, "You had no choice." And just so we're both on the same page, they're talking about the act Gypsy took to end her mother's life. Yeah, bad time for miscommunication, that's for sure. Gypsy continued to say, "I did something wrong and I paid my dues for it." And that was when Joy realized what was going on and said, "Oh, you mean that part?" And Joy's facial reaction said it all. The other co-host had to remind Joy that yes, Gypsy's story is filled with different emotions, but at the end of the day, harming others is wrong no matter the situation. Eventually they did laugh it off, but in this clip, which suggests that Joy maybe didn't remember what Gypsy did, was wrong, or I don't know what happened there. And of course the internet had lots, and I mean lots to say. Majority of the reactions kind of resembled this.
Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
Yeah, embarrassed to say the least is what Joy probably felt, but I honestly think it was because of miscommunication. Did you watch this clip online? Because it was everywhere. I thought the interaction honestly went as well as it possibly could have considering the miscommunication. All of them clarified it to Joy and then laughed it off. Gypsy has already accumulated over 8 million followers on Instagram alone within the past 2 weeks. And this doesn't even include the other following she has gained from other social media accounts like TikTok. She also has shared with the media how she's used to all the hate and doesn't let it get to her. After all, she's been in the media for years. But on the other hand, her husband Ryan was just recently into the spotlight. They actually got married behind bars in 2022, and they first met when Ryan watched an HBO documentary on Gypsy's story and wrote her a letter. Even Gypsy admitted more than 250 men sent her letters while she was behind bars. But something about Ryan must have stood out because they have been together ever since. But because he wasn't used to the media attention, it seemed like it affected him. But Gypsy was not gonna let anyone bring his man down. Oh no, because she decided to stand up for him. She basically commented under his Instagram telling him not to listen to the haters because they both love each other. Aw, how sweet. But that's before Gypsy says that his haters are just jealous of him because he is rocking her world every night. And also wrote, "Yeah, I said it, the D is fire, happy wife, happy life," and the public went crazy. In fact, the comments went so viral that people have been making literal edits of Gypsy. Gypsy. Let's take a look at this one. Wow, I can't believe they had all the transitions, filters, and all. But of course, people seem to be debated on whether Gypsy should be at the level of fame she is currently at, especially because of the whole situation. That video I just showed you has over 100,000 likes on TikTok, and some comments read, "Why are people editing a psycho?" Whereas others are writing, "This woman is getting everything she's ever wanted, I'm so happy for her." And no matter where or what, but if it's about Gypsy, a lot of people feel torn. I personally see both sides, but what do you think? Plus, with all the fame she's been receiving, it's only going to be time before she gets hacked, because that's exactly what happened. She explained the situation and even noted that they actually had a suspicion of who it could be, but they ended up changing the password and gained control over the account once again. But that was before Ryan jumps into the frame and says shame on you before Gypsy gets him away.
Shame on y'all.
Oh, baby.
Honestly, kind of funny to me, and it's really crazy how extreme her social media accounts have been growing so much that people would literally hack her just weeks after her being released from prison. The hacker took down her profile picture and changed her username, which honestly, comparing that to other celebrities being hacked, this doesn't seem that bad. I mean, I'm sure we all remember when Rita Ora tweeted that she would release a new song if her tweet got 200,000 retweets. But after only getting 2,000, the tweet suddenly disappeared and Rita claimed her Twitter account was hacked. Scary hackers, am I right? So it could have ended much worse. One of Gypsy's first public appearances were captured after she went shoe shopping following her release. And of course, paparazzi was there to film and ask her questions, and one paparazzi had quite an awkward one ready for her. Did you notice it? No one is really talking about this clip, but I noticed it right away. The paparazzi asked Gypsy if she had any plans, literally right after being released from prison.
You have any plans?
Lots of them.
Of course she has plans. Gypsy even replied by saying she has lots of them. Maybe he was just trying to figure out what plans she had, but the question came across quite general and made it seem like, I don't know, a bit odd. But like I mentioned before, no one is really talking about this, so I might be exaggerating when I felt like the clip was awkward, but obviously I want to know your thoughts. And if you don't already know who Gypsy Rose is, well, she was born in 1991 to Dee Dee and Rod Blanchard. Her parents split up before she was born, and within her first 3 months of life, her mom began claiming that Gypsy had several health issues. Rod, who is Gypsy's father, didn't really have a reason to think Dee Dee was lying, and he maintained a close relationship with his daughter. As Gypsy got older though, her medical diagnosis seemed to get worse, and when Hurricane Katrina hit and destroyed their home, Habitat for Humanity actually built the mom and daughter a new home, which was even equipped with a wheelchair ramp. And now that she's further away from her father, their relationship began to fizzle out, as Rod believes that Dee Dee would try to get Gypsy to maintain a distance from him, and because Hurricane Katrina wiped many medical records, it was now even easier for Dee Dee to claim Gypsy had multiple illnesses. She used a feeding tube and stayed in her wheelchair and was bribed to sit down and not move her legs. Plus, she went through a lot of surgeries, including removing her saliva glands, which has caused her long-lasting effects because her throat's always dry and has to constantly clear it. Plus, Dee Dee even shaved Gypsy's hair and told her it was going to fall out anyways because Gypsy believed some of the things her mom said, which included that she suffered from leukemia. The harm doesn't stop there, as there's a ton of things Dee Dee would convince health officials of, and Gypsy had no other knowledge outside her own home, especially because she was kept isolated and didn't attend school, wasn't allowed to have friends with people her age, and her mom always monitored her relationships. Even when Gypsy tried to object and tell her mom that she didn't think she needed a certain procedure or medication, her mom would be manipulative towards her and would always get Gypsy to comply to her wishes. But that was until she met Nicholas Godejohn through an online website, and the two eventually had the plan to end Dee Dee's life. And since then, Gypsy has shared remorse and states that she's still dealing with guilt to this day. Nick is still serving his life sentence, and if you do some research, you will see why. But eventually, this led Gypsy to be in the hands of authority, where the story would slowly unfold. I think a lot of people are split on their thoughts on Gypsy because of her past actions, but also the reasoning why she did take action. Others I've seen sharing their opinions online and truly don't think that she would have made it out alive if her mother was slowly causing her health to deteriorate and she lacked a ton of social skills and education medication as she was always in her mom's care. There has also been instances where Gypsy herself was feared for her life, and many believe if it wasn't Dee Dee, it would have been Gypsy. The whole case intrigues many as it just is something that is so crazy and it deals with real people and real lives too. And now Gypsy's goal is to raise awareness as she was a victim of Munchausen syndrome by proxy. And with her being released, it seems like she's a busy girl and she has lots of interviews, talk shows, books, and documentaries all coming out about her life. I actually haven't watched any recent documentaries she's been in, but I did know about this case years ago. Did you know who Gypsy was before or just recently after she's been everywhere? We have made it to the end of today's video and I want to know your opinions and thoughts on Gypsy Rose and her awkward moments. I mean, her interview on The View definitely has stuck with me for the past few days, and the whole shoe thing, still can't get over how no one else talks about it. But of course, if you made it this far, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Melanie with InformOverload, and I'll see you next time.